Okay, I hope I am audible now. It's a slight issue with the mic, so please start watching from 4 to 5 minutes onwards. Yes, let us start. Okay, let me reiterate what I told you. So, I told you quadratic equations we are discussing. So, any polynomial if you equate to 0, it becomes an equation. Okay. So, if you are writing that equation, if you equate it to 0, it will become an equation, but instead of equating to 0, if you write it as f of x is equal to that polynomial, it becomes a quadratic expression. Okay. If the power is 2, if the degree of the polynomial, if it is 2, we call it as quadratic. If it is 1, we call it as linear. If it is 3, we call it as cubic. If it is 4, we call it as biquadratic, which you know. Okay. Already in 10th standard you would have solved numerous questions on quadratic equation about how to solve the quadratic equations. Okay. But here you must know very well how to solve the quadratic equation. They are not going to ask based on how you will solve, they will ask based on nature of the quadratic equation. So, if this is given, this is what quadratic expression, this is what equal to 0, that is why this is equation, and also here a should not be equal to 0. Why a should not be equal to 0? If a becomes equal to 0, the term x square won't exist, then it will become what? A linear equation. So, the topic is quadratic equation. Although the topic is quadratic equation, definitely they will not restrict themselves, be it NTA or any state entrance exams, they won't restrict themselves only for quadratic. They will ask questions up to cubic also, biquadratic also. Okay, they will ask questions from biquadratic as well. So, it is important you know those concepts. So, when I talk about quadratic equation, like I told you, okay, these are the subtopics that you must be knowing. Okay, so here if I say in priority of importance, first thing you should know what? Nature of the roots, then transformations, common roots, then you must know maximum minimum value of quadratic equations, maxima minima values, you must be knowing. Next thing is location of the roots, friends, location of the roots you must be knowing. And also quadratic equation is highly important because it is the basis or foundation for the next topic we will be studying, that is complex numbers. Okay, without knowing quadratic equations properly, or without the basics of quadratic equation, you cannot understand complex numbers. Okay, why complex numbers as a topic as evolved, you will understand if you know what is quadratic equation. Okay, which you learn in today's class. Now see here, okay, they were given some quadratic equation, find the roots of the quadratic equation they say. Okay, so how do you find out? But before that, when they give a quadratic equation, how do you solve it? Okay, there are primarily two methods are there. Okay, first method we say it as what? Factorization method, and then we say as what? That is formula method, this either formula we know. Okay, next is formula method we will be following. Yes, no. So, factorization method and formula method will be following. Now, let us take this question itself. What is the question that was given? X square plus x minus 6 is given. Okay, so for that question, let us apply both the methods. And solve it. Okay, the question is what? X square plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Okay, x square plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. This is what is given. So, what are the factors I can write? I should get the product as minus 6, and I should get the sum as what? Plus 1. So, what are the things I can take? I can take minus 3, no, minus 3 I cannot take, I can take plus 3 and minus 2. So, 3 2s are minus 6, 3 minus 2 is what? 1. So, I can take what? I can take the x values as what? I can write it here. So, factorization method, if I take it, x square plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. So, what I will do? This I will write it as what? X square plus 3x minus 2x plus 6, not plus 6, minus 6 is equal to 0. So, I will take x common, this will become what? X plus 3 minus 2 into x plus 3. This you know how to solve. You would have done it in your 10th and 9th standard also. Quadratic equation is there. X plus 3 into x minus 2 is equal to 0. This gives us the value of what? These are the factors, but we want the roots. Roots are what? X is equal to minus 3, x is equal to plus 2. Okay, these are the two roots we will be getting. Now let us solve the same question using the formula method. So that is what we are having, x square plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Here what is the formula that we will be using? We will be using the formula that is x is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac by 2a. This is called the Sridhara's formula, okay, and you will be using it in multiple places. Suppose you don't know how to factorize, the simple way to get the answer is use the formula method. Okay, lot of the questions you can solve using factorization method, but some of the questions we are not able to factorize easily, then directly apply the formula method, easily you will be able to solve the question. So what is this x square plus x minus 6? So here a is what? This is the formula for the standard equation that we have, that is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now in this case what is the value of a? Here 1. So this is a is 1, here nothing is there means here also it is 1, so it b is 1 and c is what? Minus 6. C is what? Minus 6. Now if I apply the formula, what is that I have? X is equal to minus b. Minus b means what? Minus 1 plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac. B square minus 4ac. B square is what here? 1. Okay, 1 minus 4ac minus what is this? 4 into a into c, that is minus 4 into a is what? 1, c is what? Minus 6 divided by 2a. 2 times a means 2 into 1. Okay, what will be getting? X is equal to minus 1 plus or minus square root of 1 minus what is that we have? 4 6 are 24, minus into minus will be plus 24 divided by 2. This is what we have. Now I can write what? X is equal to minus 1 plus or minus square root of 25 by 2. That is nothing but what? X is equal to minus 1 plus or minus square root of 25 is what? 5 plus or minus 1. This will be just 5, not square root of 5. This will be 5. Okay, plus or minus 5 divided by 2. So first one root will be x is equal to minus 1 minus 5 by 2. Okay, minus 1 minus 5 by 2. Another root will be x is equal to minus 1 plus 5 by 2. So this will get it as what? 4 by 2. The value will be 2. This will be what? Minus 6 by 2. That value will be 3. Minus 3. So we got x is equal to 2 and x is equal to minus 3. Same as the one we got using what? Factorization method. Same as the one we got using factorization method. Clear? So this is how we will solve the question. Now suppose there is a question like this. If it is given x square plus x plus 1 is equal to 0. X square plus x plus 1 is equal to 0. This is the question that is given. Okay, this is the question that is given. Okay, so here how to solve this equation? Definitely using the factorization method we cannot solve. We cannot get the factors directly. So we will apply what? The formula method. Using the formula method I can write this as what? X is equal to minus b. Minus b means here it is minus 1. Okay, what about this one? Minus b plus or minus b square minus 4ac. B square minus 4ac is what? B square minus 4ac is 1 minus what is that we have? 4 into 1 into 1. 1 into 1, that is 4 by what I am having? By 2a. So x is equal to minus 1 plus or minus we are having square root of minus 3 divided by 2. This is what we will get the value for x. Here square root of minus 3 is there. Okay, for this, why I written this question? For this condition, okay, what we used to do till 10th standard, we used to say that it is having imaginary roots, or we will say it has no roots and will go on. But in your 11th standard you are having a chapter that is called as complex numbers. So for such kind of roots use the concept of what? Or a different type of number comes, that is known as complex numbers. Clear? Which we will be discussing in tomorrow's session. So tomorrow again we will come back to quadratic equation to understand what is complex numbers. Now let us understand the nature of the roots. So suppose if it is given that ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a is not equal to 0, if it is given, okay, then here if we talk about the nature of the roots, to talk about the nature of the roots we need discriminant. D is called the discriminant. Okay, what is the value of this d? The value of this d is see here, the value of this d is b square minus 4ac, which you know. So if this d value, okay, if it is greater than 0, what happens? If it is equal to 0, what happens? If it is less than 0, what happens? You already know, but I will tell you graphically as well. If it is greater than 0, what will happen? The roots are real numbers, that is roots are real and distinct. That means two different roots you will get. Okay, let us say the roots are what? Alpha comma beta. If it is equal to 0, what happens is you will get two real and equal roots. You will get not just the roots, you will get two real and equal roots you will be getting. 2 real and equal roots you will be getting. Let us say they are alpha comma alpha. Now, this is very important. If d is less than 0, what happens? You say that no roots, or you would say they are imaginary roots. They are imaginary roots. Imaginary roots. Okay, imaginary roots. It is of the form I can say p plus or minus I times q. What is this? I will explain in the tomorrow's class. Complex numbers I will explaining. While explaining complex numbers, you will understand what is this I and all this thing. P plus or minus iq. This is the imaginary roots that we have. Okay, this is the imaginary roots that we will be having. Okay, am I audible? Okay, let us resume. Okay, so that is what we are talking about, nature of the roots. Now, let us understand something about relation between coefficients and roots. So, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Okay, this is the quadratic equation. If alpha and beta are the equation, the sum of the roots, that is alpha plus beta, is equal to what? It is minus b by a. And product of the roots is what? You know, that is alpha beta is equal to what? C by a. Alpha beta is equal to what? C by a. Okay, and also sometimes what happens is they will only give the roots, they will ask you to find out the quadratic equation. So that is of what form? We will write it as what? X square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta is equal to 0. Suppose the roots are given like this, 2 comma 1 are the roots, they will ask you to find the quadratic equation. What you will do? You will write it as what? You can just write it like this, x minus 2 into x minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, these are the roots, you can say, these are the factors of the quadratic equation. If you multiply, you will get the quadratic equation, or you can write it as what? X square minus alpha plus beta, 2 plus 1 3, 2 plus 1 3, that will become 3x, okay, plus what is it? Alpha beta, that is 2, is equal to 0. So this is the quadratic equation we will be getting. Clear? So if they give the roots, how to find the quadratic equation? This is the way you will be using it. Okay, now coming to the graphs. Okay, suppose a quadratic expression is given, that is I told you, suppose f of x is given like this, ax square plus bx plus c, okay, is equal to 0. Suppose a is greater than 0, that is the coefficient of x square is positive, and also suppose if a is less than 0, the coefficient of x square is negative. What happens? So first thing is, if a is greater than 0, first condition, okay, first condition is d is greater than 0, second condition is d is equal to 0, and third condition is we are having, okay, let me write it here, a is greater than 0, first condition is what? Okay, first condition is a is greater than 0, second condition is a is less than 0. In a is greater than 0, we will have three conditions. One is what? The discriminant is greater than 0. Here I am talking about graphs of quadratic expressions. Second one is d is greater than or equal to 0, not a greater than, you can write it as what? You can write it as equal to 0. Next thing we are having d is less than 0. D is less than 0. Now, since the quadratic equation is in x, we will take only x axis. So, if you take the x axis here, if d is greater than 0, and also a is greater than 0, most importantly please focus here, if a is greater than 0, what will happen is we will have a graph, okay, which will be concave and towards upside. It is concave towards upside. Okay, it is concave towards upside, and d is greater than 0 means you will have two roots, that is it will cut the x axis at 2 points, that is we can write it as this is alpha, this is beta. Okay, so it is concave upwards. So if this is the graph representing f of x. Now what will happen to this f of x? So see here, look at this region is below x axis, this region is below x axis. So for this region what happens to f of x? For this region, if I talk about this region, f of x is less than 0, f of x is less than 0. Okay, here x belongs to what? Here x belongs to alpha comma beta. For this region if I talk about, okay, for this region if I talk about f of x is greater than 0 because it is above x axis. Here x belongs to what I can write? Here x belongs to, okay, let me write it here. Here f of x is, let me write it here itself, see here. For this region f of x is greater than 0. For this region f of x is greater than 0. X belongs to what I can write? Minus infinity to alpha union, okay, beta to infinity. Okay, this is what you can write, minus infinity to alpha union beta to infinity. This is what you can write. This is the region where f of x is positive. This is the region where f of x is negative. Now, if d is equal to 0, see here we are getting 2 points where it is getting 2 roots and 2 different or distinct roots we are getting. Now, if we are having d is equal to 0, what will happen? This upward concave, what will happen is it will just touch the x axis and go. It will just touch x axis at one point. The roots will be at alpha comma alpha, or you can say roots are equal and it is equal to what? Alpha. It will touch at one point, that is alpha. Okay, it will touch at one point, that is alpha. So, the roots will be real and equal. The roots will be what? Real and equal. Now, here what will happen to f of x? Here f of x, obviously it is just checking touching what? X axis. Here f of x is positive. F of x is greater than 0. Okay, here d is equal to 0. Here f of x is greater than 0. Okay, here f of x is greater than 0. But apart from greater than 0, where it touches, it is becoming equal to alpha as well. It is becoming equal to alpha as well. So, I can write what? F of x is greater than or equal to 0. Greater than or equal to 0. Greater than or equal to 0. It is not just greater than 0. Here f of x is greater than equal to 0 for all x. For all x. For all x, f of x is greater than or equal to 0. This is very important. It is not just about a being greater than 0, d being greater than 0. You should also know what will happen to f of x. When a is greater than 0 and d is greater than 0, f of x can be positive, greater than 0, and at some part f of x will be less than 0. But when d is equal to 0, f of x is greater than or equal to 0. It is not just greater than, it is greater than or equal to 0 because it is touching x axis. At that point it will be equal. Next, coming to this one, okay, where d is less than 0, that means what? No roots or imaginary roots. Here what will happen? Here the curve will be concave upwards. Why? Because a is greater than 0. But what will happen to this graph? See here, the curve will never touch the x axis. That means there are no roots. Now what will happen to f of x? F of x is definitely above the x axis. So what will happen to f of x? So since it is above the x axis, what I can say? F of x is greater than 0. Most of the people will do the mistake thinking that imaginary means it will be definitely less than 0. No, look at the graph. Since a is greater than 0, it is concave upwards. Since it is concave upwards, what will happen to f of x? F of x will be greater than 0. Okay, d is less than 0 means, and if it is a is greater than 0 means it is concave upwards, then f of x is greater than 0. Now come to this one. Here the condition reverses. Why? Because here a is less than 0. A is less than 0 means what will happen to this first condition? If d is greater than 0, what will happen is the graph will be concave not upwards, concave downwards. A is greater than 0 upwards, less than 0 it will be concave downwards. It will be coming like this. This will be alpha, this will be beta. Okay, this will be alpha, this will be beta. Now see here, what happens here is at this point what will happen? F of x is greater than 0, f of x is not greater than or equal to, it is just greater than 0, and x belongs to what? X belongs to open interval alpha comma beta. Here x is positive, f of x is positive. Now what happens to this region? This region f of x is negative, f of x is less than 0, and x belongs to what? And x belongs to what happens? X belongs to minus infinity comma alpha union beta comma what is this? Infinity comma alpha union beta comma infinity. Here it belongs. Here it is in this region f of x is negative. Now what happens when d is equal to 0? When d is equal to 0, same thing, it will touch the x axis but below. It will be concave below, okay, because a is less than 0, it will touch the x axis at alpha. Okay, what happens to f of x? F of x, here it will not be greater than or equal to 0, here it will be less than, because this part is less than, so it will be less than, at this part it is touching, so it will be equal to 0 for all x. Okay, so here what happens? F of x is greater than or equal to 0, here f of x is less than or equal to 0. Okay, next thing, if d is less than 0, what happens? Here the graph, what is the curve, doesn't even touch the x axis, but it will be concave downwards. So we will have what? F of x, here it will be less than 0. F of x, here it will be less than 0, friends. Clear? Here f of x would be less than 0. So that's all about the graphs when it comes to the quadratic equation. Okay. Now let us see the transformations. Let us see the transformations. So what do you mean by this transformation? See here, suppose we are having a quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Now for this, let alpha comma beta be the roots. Let alpha comma beta be the roots. Now how they'll ask the question is, then find the quadratic equation, whose roots are, okay, whose roots are, first thing I can say, for whose roots are, if they say first thing, if they say root alpha, or let me take 1 by alpha 1 by beta, whose roots are 1 by alpha comma 1 by beta. Second question, if they ask root alpha comma root beta. Okay. Third thing, if they ask alpha square comma beta square, like this many are there. Okay. Let us take up those questions. Just a minute. Let us write down those. Alpha square beta square. Fourth one we are having alpha plus 1 beta plus 1. Okay. Last thing, that is this one we missed out, that is alpha plus 1 comma beta plus 1. Okay. This is what is given. Okay. This is what is given. Now observe carefully. Now when they give it like this, they are asking what? They are just asking Almas Makandar. Hi, good evening. So see here they have given for this quadratic equation, see for the given quadratic equation, for this quadratic equation, alpha and beta are the roots. Now they are asking you to find what? Not the roots, they are asking you to find the quadratic equation whose roots are what? First sub question we are having is what? 1 by alpha 1 by beta. Okay, 1 by alpha 1 by beta. For this quadratic equation, okay, for this, what is the quadratic equation they are asking? They have given the roots, alpha beta fine. For alpha beta, what is the quadratic equation we got? Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. But suppose we are having the roots as 1 by alpha 1 by beta, what is the quadratic equation? Suppose I will equate 1 by alpha to x. Okay, 1 by alpha equate to x, the x will become what? X will become what? X, or alpha will become what? 1 by x. Alpha will become what? X, 1 by x. So what we should do, the shortcut here is replace in this given quadratic equation, that is what? Ax square plus bx plus c, replace x by 1 by x, Now if I equate root alpha, I am coming to second questions here. Root alpha if I equate to x. So if I want alpha, so alpha will become what? X square. I should square on both sides. Okay. So here what I should do? Replace x by x square. Now see here, what about this one? If I am having alpha square, if I equate to x, if I want alpha will be equal to what? Plus or minus root x. Replace what happens? Replace x by plus or minus root x. Alpha plus 1 is there. Alpha plus 1 is equal to x if I write. So alpha will be equal to what? X minus 1. So what I should do? In the given equation, I should replace x by x minus 1. Let us take one example, that is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Suppose if I replace x by 1 by x, so what I will get here? Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Here replace is equal to 0. Let me write the replaced equation itself. So I will have what? A into 1 by x whole square plus b into 1 by x plus c is equal to 0. Now if I take the LCM, I will have x square as the LCM. I will be having what? I will be having a plus bx plus cx square. This is what I will have. So the quadratic equation will become, for this the quadratic equation will become, what is it? It will become cx square plus bx plus a is equal to 0. So this is what will be the quadratic equation. This will be the quadratic equation when the roots are given as what? 1 by alpha and 1 by beta. Now similarly let us do for the second question also. Okay, I will take with this one example. So replace x by x square. So this will become what? If I replace x by x square for this, so This is a quadratic equation where roots are 1 by alpha, 1 by beta. Suppose roots are root alpha, root beta. What is a quadratic equation? So that time replace x by x square. So this will become what? A into x square whole square plus b into x square plus c is equal to 0. So this implies what I can write? This will become biquadratic. A x to the power of 4 plus bx square plus c is equal to 0. So this is what I will be having, friends. So this is what I will be having. Clear? So this is what I will be having. A x to the power of 4 plus bx square plus c is equal to 0. This is what I will be having. Clear? So this is all about when it comes to transformations. These are the things you must know when it comes to transformations. Now going forward, okay, let us take up some questions when it comes to relation between roots and coefficients. Relation between roots and coefficients, if they ask, what you should do. Suppose they have given example. Let us take an example. See here. So example, let us take up. Suppose they have given x square plus 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. Okay, 4 is equal to 0, and they are telling alpha beta are the roots. Alpha beta are the roots. Then they are asking us to find. First thing is what? Alpha plus beta. Second thing is alpha beta. Okay, and third thing what they are asking us to do? They are asking us to do alpha plus beta. Anyways, we can find out sum of the roots, product of the roots, easy. So let us take up like this. So 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta, they are asking us to find. Second question is they are asking us to find alpha square plus beta square. Let this be the first question. Alpha square, beta square. Alpha square plus beta square. Alpha square plus beta square. So this is what? 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta. Second question. Third question they are asking us to find is alpha by beta plus beta by alpha. This is the next thing. Fourth thing they are asking is 1 by alpha square plus 1 by beta square. Next thing they are asking is fifth one, they are asking us to find alpha cube plus beta cube, and the sixth one they are asking is modulus of alpha minus beta mod is equal to what they are asking. Okay, this is the question they are asking. Now but before this, for transformation let us take up one example. For transformation let us take up an example question. So they have given 3x square minus 4x plus 10 is equal to 0, plus 10 is equal to 0. They are telling alpha beta are the roots. Alpha beta are the roots. They are asking us to find quadratic equation, okay, when alpha by beta and beta by alpha are roots. Beta by alpha are the roots. Okay, they are asking us to find the quadratic equation. Alpha by beta and beta by alpha are the roots. This is what the question says. This is what the question says. So see here, what happens is, when they say like this, just a minute. So what happens is, they are telling what? Alpha by beta, beta by alpha are the roots. So they are asking us to find quadratic equation when alpha by beta and beta by alpha are roots. Now what we should do? So instead of replacing, okay, the previous questions which we did, I told the logic that we can replace x. Here instead of replacing, what I can do, the quadratic equation, the roots are given, I can write it as what? X square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. But here alpha beta is what? Alpha by beta and beta by alpha. So this I can write as what? X square plus sum of the roots, that is alpha by beta plus beta by alpha plus beta by alpha, alpha by beta plus beta by alpha, alpha by beta plus beta by alpha into x plus alpha by beta into beta by alpha is equal to 0. Now this and this cancels, this and this cancels, I will be having 1. So x square minus what is this? Alpha square if I take LCM plus beta square by alpha beta plus 1 is equal to 0. This is what I will be having. This is what I will be having. Now alpha square plus beta square I want to find out. You know how to find it. So a square plus b square is what? A plus b whole square minus 2ab. So here same thing I can apply. But before that, for this given quadratic equation, sum of the roots is what? Alpha plus beta is what? Minus b by a, that is 4 by 3. Product of the roots is what? Alpha beta, that is what? That is nothing but alpha beta, that is nothing but c by a, that is 10 by 3. That is 10 by 3, friends. Now this will become what? X square minus what is this? Alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta. If I want alpha square plus beta square, this is the formula I am applying. Divided by alpha beta, this entire thing here x should come. Okay, here x should come. Here x will come, plus 1 is equal to 0 into x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta by alpha beta plus into x plus 1 is equal to 0. Alpha plus beta, what is the value we got? 4 by 3. Just substitute the values, 4 by 3 whole square. So here I will write it x square minus what I am having, 4 by 3 whole square minus 2 alpha beta. 2 times alpha beta is what? 2 into 10 by 3. Okay, divided by what I am having, alpha beta again. So that will be what? 10 by 3 into x plus 1 is equal to 0. This is what I am having. Now we have to just simplify this. X square minus 16 by 9 minus 20 by 3 divided by 10 by 3 into x plus 1 is equal to 0. Now if I take the LCM here, it will be 9. Okay, 16 minus, this is what? 3 3 is 9, this will be 60 minus 60 by what is this? 10 by 3. This is into x plus 1 is equal to 0. Here x square minus. Okay, this implies what I can write here. Let us move it a little up. So this implies what I can write here. See here, this can be written as what? X square minus what is this? 16 minus 60. 16 minus 60 is what? 16 minus 60 is what, friends? So that is what? 16 minus 60. 60 minus 16 is how much? It is nothing but minus 44. But here it is already minus is there. This will become plus 44. Okay, plus 44 by 9 into 3 by 10. Into 3 by 10. This is what I am having. This will become what? 3 ones are. This will become 3 threes are. Okay, this will be 2 twos are, and this will be 2 fives are. Okay, plus 1 is equal to 0. Plus 1 is equal to 0. This is what we have. Okay, this is what we will be having on simplifying. Okay, 44 by 9 into what is this? 3 by 10. Okay, 3 ones are, 3 threes are. Okay, 2 22s are, 2 fives are. Okay, this is what we will be having into here x will be there. Here x will be there. Now what will this become? X square plus 22 by 15x plus 1 is equal to 0. So the quadratic equation finally becomes, if I take the LCM, 15x square plus 22x plus 15 is equal to 0. This is how you can simplify and get the answer easily. This is how you can simplify and get the answer. Clear, friends? This is how you can simplify. Okay, when the roots are given in a different way. How to find the quadratic equation we have learnt. Now let us come back to this. Okay, here there is a quadratic equation that is given, x square plus 3x plus 4 is equal to 0, and they are telling alpha and beta are the roots. They are asking us to find alpha square plus beta square. First, for this one, what we have to do is, we have to do what? Sum of the roots. Alpha plus beta is equal to what? Minus b by a, that is what? Minus 3, because here it is plus 3 is there. Alpha into beta, that is product of the roots is what? C by a, that is what? 4. 4 by 1, that is a is 1. Now alpha square plus beta square, what I should do? This will become alpha plus beta whole square minus 2 alpha beta. So that will be equal to what? Minus 3 square is what? 9. Minus 2 alpha beta is what? 2 4 is 8. 9 minus 8, we are getting 1. So 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta, if I take the LCM, I will get what? Alpha plus beta by alpha beta. Alpha plus beta is what? Minus 3. Alpha beta is what? 4. Minus 3 by 4. Next, if I take the LCM here, alpha square plus beta square by alpha beta. But already I got the value alpha square beta square, what is that? I got 1. Alpha beta is what? Alpha beta is 4, 1 by 4. Now this one, if I take it, I will get it as what? Alpha square plus beta square divided by alpha beta whole square. Alpha beta whole square I will be getting. So alpha square plus beta square, what is the value? I got 1. So this will be 1 by alpha beta whole square is what? 4 square, that is 16 will be having. That is 16 will be having. Now see this one, we are having what? We are having alpha cube plus beta cube. We are having alpha cube plus beta cube. So this is of the form a cube plus b cube. So this can be written as what? A plus b into a square plus b square minus ab. So this is one of the formula we can apply here. So if I apply this here, this will become alpha plus beta into alpha square plus beta square minus alpha beta. Already we got the value of what? Alpha plus beta is what? Minus 3. Alpha square plus beta square is what? We got the value as what? 1. Minus alpha beta is what? Minus 4. So this will become minus 3 into minus 3. So this will become plus 9. This will be plus 9. So modulus of alpha minus beta. So if it is given modulus of alpha minus beta, what you can simply do is, you can put the value as, you can simply put the value as alpha minus beta if they give, what you can do is you can just put alpha plus beta whole square minus 4 alpha beta within the square root. You have to apply the square root because you don't want alpha minus beta whole square, you want alpha minus beta. You can apply this formula. So alpha plus beta whole square is what? Alpha plus beta, what is the value? Minus 3, that is 9, minus 4 alpha beta is what? 4 for the 16. So what is that we will be having? What is the value that we will be having? So 9 minus 4 into what is this? Alpha minus beta. So I should put alpha minus beta, right? 9 minus square root of 16, this is I will be having minus square root of 7. This I can write it as what? Square root of 7 into square root of minus 1. So square root of 7 is 1, square root of minus 1 we will write it as I. Why? You will understand in tomorrow's class when I do what is that? Complex numbers. When I do complex numbers. Clear friends? So this is how we will simplify this when it is given quadratic equation. But they will give biquadratic also, they will give cubic also, then what to do? So let us proceed. Let us proceed here. Now suppose they give cubic equation. When they give cubic equation, how to solve? When the cubic equation is given, so see here how they will give is, they will give ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d is equal to 0. Since it is cubics, definitely it will have 3 roots, that is alpha, beta, gamma is equal to what? They are the roots. Okay. So then what you will write? Alpha plus beta, sum of the roots is what? Alpha plus beta plus gamma. Okay. Then sum of the roots and product of the roots taking 2 at a time. Alpha beta, beta gamma, gamma alpha. This is what? Then alpha beta gamma, product of the roots, alpha beta gamma is equal to what? Alpha plus beta plus gamma. This is what? This is nothing but what? Minus b by a. Alpha beta beta gamma, gamma delta is what? Gamma alpha, not delta. Gamma alpha is what? It is nothing but equal to c by a, same as the previous one. But alpha beta gamma, product of the roots is what? Minus d by a. It is alternative, minus plus minus. Clear? This is how you will write it, minus d by a. Okay. For this, let us take an example. Let us take an example for this and solve it. Suppose they give a quadratic equation. Suppose they give a quadratic equation like x cube minus, they have given the example x cube minus, the equation that is given is x cube minus 3x square plus 4x minus 5 is equal to 0. Okay. Then they will ask you to find first thing. Okay. They will ask you to find alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square is equal to what? Okay. This is what? And next thing they will ask is alpha cube plus beta cube plus gamma cube is equal to what? Next they will ask is, third thing they will ask is, they will ask 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta plus 1 by gamma, 1 by alpha plus 1 by beta plus 1 by gamma. But before solving this, certain important formula you must know when it comes to cubic equation. So what are those formulas you must know? First thing is you must know the formula of what? Very important, alpha plus beta, that is alpha plus beta whole square. Alpha plus beta plus gamma whole square is given by alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square plus 2 times alpha beta, beta gamma plus gamma delta, not gamma delta, gamma alpha. Delta will come in biquadratic. Next, one more formula you must know is alpha cube plus beta cube plus gamma cube. Okay, this formula if you want to know. So this is given by, okay, or you can write minus 3 alpha beta gamma, this is equal to, okay, alpha plus beta plus gamma into alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square minus alpha beta plus beta gamma plus gamma alpha. Okay, entire thing within minus, this is the bracket for this. Okay, these are the 2 important results you must know. These are the 2 important results which you must be knowing. Now see here, So these are the two important results you must know. Now see here, using those results, how to solve this question. They are given this question. Okay, they are telling alpha, beta, gamma are the roots. Alpha, beta, gamma are the roots. Now for this, if I have to find out, first thing what I should do, sum of the roots. Sum of the roots is what? I can write it here. Okay, alpha plus beta plus gamma is equal to what? Sum of the roots is just minus b by, that is 3. Minus c3, minus of minus 3 is what? Plus 3. Alpha, sum of the roots taken 2 at a time, or product of the roots taken 2 at a time. Alpha, beta, beta, gamma, gamma, alpha. This is equal to what? This is equal to c by a, that is 4. C by a, that is 4. Then product of the roots, alpha, beta, gamma, that is what? That is given by minus d by a. So this will become what? Minus d by a, that will become 5. So this value will be equal to 5. Now this one, alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square, they are asking. How to find out this one? We will just write what? Alpha plus beta plus gamma whole square minus 2 times alpha beta, beta gamma plus gamma alpha. Just put these values. So we will get what? Alpha plus beta plus gamma is what? 3. 3 square is what? 9. Minus 2 into, this is what? 2 into alpha beta, beta gamma, gamma alpha, that is nothing but equal to 4. So 9 minus 8, that is nothing but equal to 1. So we are using this result, friends. We are using this result. We are using this result. Now next one. So we got the value as what? 1. Now alpha q plus beta q plus gamma q. So this can be written as what? This formula is what? Alpha plus beta plus gamma into alpha square plus beta square plus gamma square minus alpha beta, beta gamma, gamma alpha. Okay, this entire thing minus 3 times alpha beta. Minus means this will become plus. If it, that side it was minus, if I take it this side, this will become 3 times alpha beta gamma. See, we are using this second results. See, here it is minus. If you take it to the RHS, it will become plus. Okay. So just put the values. Alpha plus beta plus gamma is what? Alpha plus beta plus gamma is 3. 3 into alpha square beta square gamma square is what? We got it as 1. 1 minus alpha beta beta gamma gamma delta. Gamma not gamma delta. Gamma alpha is, that is not a delta. Gamma alpha is what? 1 minus 4. This is what? 3 times alpha beta gamma. Alpha beta gamma is what? 3 into 5. So what is that we will be having? 3 into minus 3 is what? Minus 9. Okay, this will be what? Minus 9. This will be what? 1 minus 4 is minus 3. So this will be what? Minus 9. Okay, this will be minus 9. 3 5 is a 15. So what we will have? We will have plus 6. Okay, we will have plus 6 as the answer. So this one, see, 1 by alpha, 1 by beta, 1 by gamma. So LCM will be what? Alpha beta gamma. So here it will be, you will be getting alpha beta, beta gamma, gamma alpha. So just substitute the values. This value is what? 4. This value is 5. So we will get the answer as 4 by 5. Clear? This is how we have to do when it comes to quadratic equation. So still more concepts in quadratic equations are left, which we will be doing in the tomorrow's class. We will be talking about biquadratic equations, common root. We wanted to continue or complete it today itself, but we will be doing it in the next class. So where we will be talking about common roots, biquadratic equations, common roots, location of the roots, and also we will be talking about maximum minimum values, and also I will show you how these concepts in the bridge course will help you to solve the questions from competitive exams like IIT-JEE, JEE, all these things. That we will be doing it in the tomorrow session, friends. Thank you. Let's meet in the tomorrow session. Please do watch the previous classes, those who have missed. Take care.